Here's the preview for round 7 of the Currie Cup, coming right up. Welcome back to SkinnyBru Rugby, guys. So it's round 7 of this Currie Cup and it's the last normal round of the season. And yeah, almost everyone can qualify for it. It's all to play for to reach that semi-final spots. All the sides except the Pumas can actually reach it. So they're the only team that's on a bye this weekend as well, so this could actually be seen as kind of like finals rugby. It's going to be the Griquas versus the Lions, the Free State Cheetahs versus the Griquas, and then the Blue Bulls against the Sharks. The table at the moment, the Griquas are at the top with 19 points. They are the only safe side in the semi-finals. They might just compete for a home final. Then the Free State Cheetahs, they have 17 points, the Lions 17 points as well. The Sharks in fourth with that 14 points, so they are the lowest ranked side to actually go into the semi-finals at the moment. The Griquas 1 point below the Sharks with 13, they will want to get into the semi-finals. And then the Blue Bulls in 6th place, they have the smallest chance to actually get into it, but they can. They have 9 points in this week. And then of course the Pumas, who are on a bye, at 9 at the bottom as well. Before we get into it, if you do like SuperBru, unfortunately I do not have a SuperBru for Currie Cup, but I do have for the World Cup. So if you want to join that, it is in the description below. And also hit the subscribe button if you do like the channel. Let's get into the games. The first game is the Griquas versus the Lions in Kimberley. The crowd seems to be loving the rugby over in Kimberley at the moment. The Griquas, they can seal their home semi-final in this one, so they have a bit to play for. The playing records for the two sides, 4 out of 5 for the Griquas and then 3 out of 5 for the Lions. The seasons of the two teams, or for the Lions especially, has been by narrow margins. The one game they won by 1 point against the Pumas, by 2 points against the Griquas, by 2 points against the Cheetahs. Then they lost by 5 points to the Bulls and lost by 2 points to the Sharks. So it's been very narrow margins all season for them. But they have won both of their games on the road, so that bodes well for them in this travels that they're doing to Kimberley this week. They are going up against a solid side, only one huge loss this season against the Cheetahs, but then the rest of the games they actually won. The Lions, they've won 7 of their last 10 games against the Griquas, but the last time these teams met were in June, and the Griquas actually won that one. The strongest side was picked by the Griquas for this one to seal that home semi-final. I feel there was a change at 9 with September coming in. The attacking strength of that team lies in that center combination with Swartz and Hasna. They are pretty dangerous. If you haven't seen it yet, they are pretty good there. The guys that challenge the line, especially Fulmunk at fullback, he's pretty dangerous as well. Is when he joins between those two centers or at the outside of them, usually something happens. Then for the Lions, Ori is back in the side. That will strengthen their lineouts. That has been at times a little bit questionable, not at the best, but hopefully with him back it is going to be a little bit better. There's 6, 7, 8 combo. Skuman, Brink and Diamane. What a loose trio. With Skuman you get that ruck force. He can steal balls from anywhere. He's that little Jack Russell in your side. Brink, he can do that as well, but he's more of a big ball carrier. And then Diamane, he's like having another center on the field. He's quite quick as well, so that's also good to have him on the field. Then experienced Cronje at number 9. He's been good with Reynolds in the side. And then it's an exciting back 3 that can just rip any defense into shreds. They can just do anything with the ball. They are young and they are pretty talented. So you can expect the ball to be passed there. I think the Lions will be desperate to get this win and secure a spot in the semi-finals. But the Griquas are on a roll and they are... they do stand a chance to get a home semi-final in front of all that home fans that has been enjoying the rugby. So I think the Griquas will win this one by 9. Then it is the Free State versus the Griquas. If everything goes as planned, I'll be at that game. Follow me on Twitter and like the Facebook page. I will be posting pictures and stuff like that on it while I'm at the game, so if you want to see that, it is in the description down below. Let's hope the VP can actually get a victory now that I'm gonna go watch them. But if it's a good game, I'll be happy to see it. The Free State Cheetahs, they could actually still lose this game and still be safe. It depends on the last game between the Blue Bulls and the Sharks. Then for the VP, they need to win to get into the top 4. So then they could get to 17 points. That would be a little bit difficult because there's already a couple of teams on 17. Or 18 points, which means they will have to get a bonus point win. This means the Lions could drop out of the top 4 if they do lose, and the Sharks win, then the Lions could drop out of the top 4. Or if the Lions do win, the VP could get into the top 4 with a win and go down if the Sharks actually win as well. So for the VP fans, back the Blue Bulls this weekend for a victory. The Cheetahs, they will be playing to get a home semi-final spot for sure. I doubt they will slip out of the top 4 though, because of their points difference of 67 at the moment. For them to slip out, they need to lose by very far. They have won 3 out of 5 this year so far, 1 out of 2 at home. One of their games at home they won by 54 to Griquas, and the other one they lost by 2 to the Lions. So their recent record, 2 wins, 2 losses, and then 1 win again. Then they are up against the VP, who has only recorded 2 victories this year out of their 5 games. 1 win, 2 losses, a win, and then a loss again. They haven't won any games away from home again. That sounds pretty familiar if you're a Stormers fan. And all losses has been narrow though. The Boks, who missed out last week for the Stormers, they are back into the side. Guys like Ntubeni, Wilco Lowe and Dylan Lade straight into the squad for this crunch game. And then Damian Willemse has been picked at 10 after recovering from his injury and playing a couple of minutes last week against the Griquas. It's interesting to me. I would like to see it. He's playing with Junior Bok Rikus Pretorius at number 12. I don't know too much about him except a few games I watched of the Junior Bok. So there he looked pretty promising. So I'd like to see what happens in this game. The backline can run tons of tries, run in a ton of tries on its day, but so can the Cheetahs backline as well. So we can expect some running rugby in this one. Not a lot of defense. I want to say the VP would win this game, but unfortunately I think the Cheetahs will win this one by 5. The last game is the one that depends the most on previous results. They can either have everything to play for or nothing to play for in this game, with the Bulls going up against the Sharks. As it stands at the moment, the Bulls need a bonus point win at least to get into 4th place by a big margin though. They need to win by 23 points. If the VP does win though, the Sharks do need to win this game if they want to pass them again to get into the semi-final spots. Otherwise, if the VP does not win, they just need to secure a loss by less than 23 points and a bonus point. And then of course, if the VP does actually win, the Bulls are out of the competition and they can't get into it by any chance. So for the Bulls, you guys need to back the Cheetahs this weekend. That big rivalry you've always had, put that aside this weekend. Back the Cheetahs for this one, everyone's favorite second team. The Sharks, they've won 3 out of 5 this year so far versus the 2 out of 5 from the Bulls. Their away record 1 out of 2, and the last game they won was actually against the Lions. The Bulls had a bye last weekend and they haven't recorded any home victories, so no wins for Loftus thus far. Their last win was also against the Lions though, and it was away from home. The Bulls, they've won 2 out of the last 10 games between these two sides. The last time in 2017 by 5 points, and then in 2015 by 4 points. From there on, it's just Sharks victories. If the Bulls do win this game, it's also going to be by narrow margins. The previous victories they've had this season, 8 points to the Pumas and then 5 points to the Lions. The Sharks, they've also only had narrow victories so far, so I think it's going to be a game of narrow margins as well. The Sharks, they bring back a host of Springbok players, 2 Bok props in the front. They have Thomas du Toit, who's coming back. He would want to prove himself after that shocking performance at Loftus last week. And then Oosthuizen, of course, everyone knows what he can do. Then the young 9-10 combo, Nohamba and Chamberlain, I'm not sure what they will do. Last week they did okay, so hopefully this week they can improve against the Bulls. Esterhuizen, he's back at number 12. He would also want to prove himself because Rassie has dropped him, so he will want to prove himself and get himself back into that side. It's the last weekend that he can do so because the squads are being announced on Monday. Then, of course, the dangerous fullback Fussy, he can do anything there from the back. The box from the Bulls are also back. They have the prop Koboka. He's had a great season for the Bulls in the Super Rugby and for the box as well. Unfortunately, he is just a little bit lower down in the ranks. Then another block, Marco van Stanen. He's the fetcher in the team at ruck time. He's going to be dangerous. The 12-13 combo is quite interesting for me. They switched Sage and Kotze around again. I've always said they are more like wingers to me, so I don't like them necessarily that much on the centers. Hopefully this works better for them. And then of course their dangerous back three. This is going to be a difficult one to call, but I think the Bulls will want to end their season on a high with a victory at home. So I think it's going to be a narrow victory by 4 points for the Bulls. Guys, let me know your thoughts on the games that I've talked about. Let me know what your predictions are for the scores. And also remember to hit that subscribe button if you do like the channel. And then I'll see you for the next video. Cheers.